With life?
This thing says live, 28 seconds.
This thing does. This thing says a lot of stuff. All right, I think we are live. Low latency. Excellent connection. All right, awesome. We're live. You can see the chat on the right there, Volkin, by the way. Anyways, yep. Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. We are live here with Volkin. Many of you in the community, my community, TSG's community, so on. I'm certain you already know Volkin. He's a man who needs no introductions, but we will do it anyways. He's been in the space for a long time. He has been in the YouTube space for an even longer time. And he's got, many of you might not actually know, he actually has 3 channels. He might even have more that I don't know.
No, 3 at the moment, 3, yeah.
But his Illuvium channel is actually his smallest one, and it's still way bigger than my channel, let's put it that way. But he's been doing a lot of stuff. He has a lot of knowledge in the space, not just crypto gaming, but in mobile gaming, which is an area that I'm not particularly knowledgeable about. TSG might know a little bit, but it's something that I always want to learn more about because I've always been hesitant to get onto the mobile gaming train. Pokemon Go was a different version of something I was very familiar with. Let's put it that way. It's kind of like, yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. So yeah, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to TSG and Volkin. Both their links and stuff are in the description, as you guys know. Tune in every week for Augment. We'll alternate me and TSG's channel. And of course, we are sponsored by Illuvium. So big thanks to them for sponsoring the channel. Upcoming, they have a lot of Illuvitars leaks and things kind of coming here and there. The Illuvitars trailer is out. Go check that out. It is really awesome. Just go on the Illuvium main channel. And don't forget to check out Augment clips. We break all these down for you so that you can just view the ones you kind of want to see. So yeah, TSG, anything more to add to that?
No, I'm excited, man. Always good time having Volkin on. So I'm keen to see where this conversation goes.
Me too. And like I said to you guys, I'll let them know if my kids start running in. I forgot about this and I rushed here in half an hour and wrangled the kids into the car and so they're here as well. But you know, perfect parenting. Put the TV on. Hopefully, it all goes fine.
Anything specific, or you kind of just put the TV on? Did you put anything specific on for him?
I'll just let them choose.
All right, fair play.
You've probably said it before, Volkin, but the first thing I would love to jump straight into is how did you go from mobile gaming to crypto gaming? Like, you were probably involved with crypto and stuff, but I'm more looking for the connections between the gaming side of things in particular.
Yeah, so for me, it was, so I was never, I didn't jump straight into crypto gaming. You know, I think it was like, was it Christmas time 2020 to 2021? I think that was when NFTs started becoming a thing. And I remembered seeing, I think it was like thick Pikachus and thick Pokemon like being drawn and sold. And I'm like, there's no licensing to this stuff. And I always thought about crypto and I was like, I really should, research like for the last like 3 years before that. But it was like, I sort of understood the basics of DeFi and the principles and like the, moving forward with it, the possibilities, but I just didn't care about, like, I have to really care about something to get into it. And I didn't care enough to dive in. But then the NFTs came and like, I've always collected Pokemon cards, all that sort of stuff, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that. And so once I saw NFTs, I was like, oh, we could do like, because something I always wanted was to have my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but be able to play people online with the cards that I had. And I was like, oh, this is like something that could lead to that style of thing. So then I started looking for licensed stuff, which led me to VV and stuff like that. And then, bought a bunch of the token, lost about 80% of the value, got really dirty on it, bounced out. But in that time when I was researching, I stumbled across Illuvium. I don't know where it was exactly, but I was like, "Oh, this looks cool. It's a Pokemon style game." That first trailer was on the website, and I was like, "Oh, this looks cool." So I jumped in the Discord, and at this point, because I just had a loss on buying a token, I was like, "Man, stuff that I don't really care about buying tokens. I'll just sit here." And then it was like I've got like a list in my Discord, like a folder of games that aren't released that I jump into their Discords and see if they have any leaks and stuff like that. So it just fell in there. So every month I was checking the leaks. And then, it wasn't until about, I don't know, I think July or something like that. I was chatting to Seaton because he'd been in the space and we'd played other games together in normal mobile games. So I just started chatting to him, and he's like, "Listen, play this Axie game. It's pretty shit, but you'll get the idea of crypto gaming." And so he got me back into the space, and that's how the whole snowball started. I played Axie, sold out after 2 weeks. Once I could sell my SLP, sold all my Axies because it was just, we all know what Axie is. But then, and then I just started looking at projects that I'm interested in. And honestly, at the moment, as you start to learn more, like I've played a lot of like mobile games that made a crypto version, and they just don't work. Like I don't know. I'm not a genius at this stuff, but to me, it just seems like anything with an infinitely mintable supply of, whether it be NFTs, so you've got like heroes in the game that never go out of print, or a token that doesn't have a cap. It's just like it's inevitable that it'll go to zero. But Illuvium still is like the main one that I see that the economy makes sense and the game looks fun. It's like, it's really like has the best of both worlds, because it's essentially a trading card game. And because I played Yu-Gi-Oh for so long, it's essentially just that, but digital. And the thing that I love about it, and this is where often, because I'm in mobile gaming, it's so funny watching mobile gaming, because you got like PC and console gamers complaining about mobile games being predatory and all that sort of stuff, and you got mobile gamers complaining about NFTs and crypto gaming. And it's like, it's just a funny like snowball of how everyone just hates the next thing. But yeah, I was just like, okay, Illuvium has it's the first window into a trading card game, but digital. And that trading card game doesn't have to be a card game. You can change it into anything, like an auto battler. And that's like the huge thing for me with Illuvium. And I think the problem is that to get a sustainable, and I don't know, Illuvium economy could just collapse. I don't know. But when I look at it, because I know how the economy worked in Yu-Gi-Oh, it feels like it's going to be the same thing. Now, I do think that there's something that, like, a lot of people think, you know, you travel, you catch an alluvial, you're always going to get that same value of your travel back for it. I don't know, because I know a lot of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh were worth like 5 cents. So I'm really curious to see how that evolves. But once again, if the game is fun enough, kind of like these card games, Magic the Gathering, people will spend for the fun. And mobile games, people spend for the fun. They get nothing back. So I think once the game is fully developed and people are having fun with it, then you have a proper economy.
Yeah.
We lost you, Scoriox.
You muted.
Sorry about that. I think it's really interesting you mention some cards are worth 5 cents, finding the same card and that sort of thing. Because that's what it says to me as well. But then I also bring it back to Pokemon. And Pokemon's a really interesting system. They have all the stats and the stat distribution and all that. And we're going to have that in Illuvium. But really, the only thing I'll say on that is I've gone through and I've bred thousands and thousands of egg for a single Pokemon to get one with perfect stats and that's shiny or whatever, right? Like,
you should see my 6IV Greninja. Oh yeah, shiny.
Is that usually that principal single best thing you can get? And I think if you're willing to pay for the entertainment to do that and get through that system, I think it could make for some really interesting stuff.
100%. And that's the thing. And that's where I'm really excited, because when I played Yu-Gi-Oh, for instance, I loved buying a deck, playing it. And then when I thought, you know, when you see new sets coming out or the meta's about to change, you sell that so that you can buy another deck. And then if a ban list comes and hits those things, they become much less valuable. So that's another thing that I find funny in the space is people often talk about, well, how are they going to balance the game without destroying people's investment? And it's like, for me, I was like, Yu-Gi-Oh did that all the time. Like I had the deck that I went out on when I stopped playing, I just kept it because, you know, a bit of sentimental value, but it was worth about $3,000. Today, it's because it's been superseded, power creep, ban lists. You know, now it's worth about 200. Damn. But it's like, so it's like that sort of thing just happens. And like, I've watched it in physical card games. And so I just think it's going to be part of the system. Like, you know, a new set of alluvials come out, something might be better. Like, it's just something you've got to prepare for. And if you don't want to take the risk and you're in it for the money, you've got to be aware of it. And that's where hopefully, you know, it becomes more of a game than investment.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, you kind of mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh a couple of times, and I just want to take a second to say RIP to Kazuki Takahashi, right? So I think he changed all of our lives for that shit. Like, I think Yu-Gi-Oh was huge for all of us. So just wanted to take a second there.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about something that I've found very, very fascinating, and it's been the way that I've been explaining it to other people as well. Instead of saying, "Oh, Illuvium's an open world auto battler," blah 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 blah. Sometimes it's a bit too much for people. I kind of just say it's a glorified trading card game because that's exactly what it is, and it makes it a lot easier for them to understand, especially for non-NFT natives or non-crypto natives, because they're like, "Oh, but what's the NFT side?" But if you say it's a trading card game, they understand the idea of, oh, you need to pay for a booster pack, or you need to pay for a deck, like a deck of cards, and they understand that not all of the cards, like you say, like some cards are going to be worth 5 cents, like you say, and that kind of economy works. Like they can understand it a bit more, and for them, they also understand that like you say, like you're not buying a booster pack for all 10 or 11 cards to be valuable, right? It's like you're hoping for one investment. The rest are kind of just going to be throwaways. And I think that's how all of us need to kind of look into Illuvium as well. Illuvium is meant to be a game, not like, unless you're buying the ILV token, the game itself is a game. It's not an investment. And it's meant to be to have fun. One thing I want to touch on, and I'm really curious about, because I've played TCGs more for fun. I'm not sure what Scoriox's experiences, but you've obviously like played it seriously. You've been in that culture for a while. And you mentioned the similarities between Yu-Gi-Oh and Illuvium. Can you dive in a bit deeper on what those similarities are and why you think that?
Well, it's mainly the fact that you have a set of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh. You got a set of Illuvials in Illuvium, and they've got limited prints sort of thing. Yu-Gi-Oh trashes that later on because they reprint things and devalue the things that you used to have and stuff like that. But like, it's that scarcity that you have, and then you're going to have meta that determines the value of the secondary market. So like, it's that principle. And like you were saying, like the way I say it to people is like, imagine your Pokemon cards. If you had those cards, you could use them in Pokemon Stadium or Pokemon there was like a dash, all the games. Like if you had that card, you could use it in the games. And that's the way I try and, get that point across. But I think Illuvium is going to be interesting because like I said, with the whole idea of the economy and the value of certain cards, obviously when you buy a pack of cards, you've got commons that there's millions of them. No one's ever going to need them because Magic by the time you pull one of the, but Illuvium, it's like, okay, you're going to have differences because you're going to have, the tier ones, which are less, valuable, but then you've got a tier one, like Scoriox said, with the perfect IVs or, base stats, which then all of a sudden becomes valuable. So it's, and you don't know until you see how much they impact the meta, how important, like the Leviathan laddered arena is, what the rewards are to scale it up. But I just think that's like a really cool aspect to keep track of when the game launches.
Yeah. All right. Yo, I wanted to ask you, man, because now we've got the Illuvitar trailer come out and that's, I think, aligned very much with the stuff that you do on mobile gaming with the whole gacha system, the gacha experience. I'm going to claim complete ignorance here. I kind of assume I know what gacha means, but I don't actually. Could you like break it down for, I think there's a couple of people in chat as well. Like what is gacha?
I say it horribly. People always bag me for the way I say it, but I say gacha.
I don't even know if I'm
you're saying it right. I just sound like I sound like I'm trying to do an American accent when I say it like that, so I just don't bother. But it actually it's derived from in Japan. They used to have these like the big, the big ball things with a bunch of little balls, and you spin it and you get one out. That's the essential things of what they were called. And so you're putting money in to get a random prize. And that's basically, they digitize that with mobile games. Now, Illuvitars is kind of that. So gacha in games is more because you're trying to get a character to help your game progression. Illuvitars is different, but still the same system. And then if you look at, once again, cards and the actual Illuvium game, the Illuvium traveling in the overworld to catch Illuvials is just like gamified gotcha, because
Yeah.
you're putting your money in, you're going into that, and then you're getting a random alluvial from that world. It's just you have more interactions into getting that alluvial. Whereas Illuvitars is just like the raw system of, you spend that money, you get something random out. But this is just more of a collector's side of it. So I compare it less to mobile game gacha and more to, people who collect Pokemon cards and stuff like that, that type of system, because you're just putting your money in, you get something out that you collect and looks cool. So, and because on top of that, I've always been just a collector. I can't wait for Illuvitars. And the trailer was sick. Like, I love Doka after that trailer. Like, that was just such a cool start. So, like, it was really short, and I was like, you just watching, you want it to keep going. But I like the production on the stuff that they're doing is fantastic. And like, you guys have seen the leaks of like the interface for the Illuvitars and all that sort of stuff. I just think it looks just too cool. And I'm curious to see how they actually do end up like releasing them in terms of like, how long they're available for mint and all that sort of stuff. Definitely keen to see it. But yeah, I'm excited for Illuvitars. Like more so than land. I said that from the start, because the land actually got really fun during the land sale. And then once there was that, you buy the land and then you get the random plots, like that was fun for me.
That was fun.
But yeah, Illuvitars are gonna be sick.
I think Gacha is going to be really interesting. I do want to delve into that topic really deep in this conversation, because I think it has a lot of references to Illuvium, but I think more importantly, it has a lot of references to crypto gaming and potentially why those systems have failed. I think this is something I want to talk about, because the idea for me, if we go back to Pokemon cards, which are kind of like a gacha in a sense, but if we go back to Pokemon cards, the idea is that it's a net loss. All right. If you buy a booster box of 35 booster packs, the idea is that the resale value for them is going to be a net loss on your pocket, especially if you buy multiple of them, because you're going to get a lot of doubles and then you're in trouble, right? So I think the idea of a net loss is something that crypto gaming is missing right now, but we'll delve into that a bit later. I do have an interesting question for you. Gacha and mobile gaming rose to power over, let's say, the past decade, although you'll know this better than me.
Yeah.
What do you think makes them so addictive? What do you really think it is?
It's that it is a gamble. Like, and so this is something that's happening in the mainstream gaming, and they're trying to like get these like loot boxes. That's what the mainstream refers to it as, loot boxes. Like, they're trying to get it banned. I know Europe's putting some things in place.
Oh wow!
Because it's because they do. So it is predatory, and they do target kids with their advertising to try and get kids to spend. And I don't agree with that. I definitely think it's wrong. It's just, there's no easy way around it, because if you have a problem with then why don't you have a problem with Pokemon cards, which are targeted at kids to spend money, to lose money on getting something? So the main argument is, well, you've got something physical. And I'm like, yes, but you probably get more entertainment value out of the digital stuff that you have. So it's a very interesting topic on the gacha games in that whole sense. And it's definitely something that's going to evolve over time. But like, the thing I love about it is I play most of the gacha games that I play free to play, or like, $10 a month. So you have, and I know a lot of people that spend thousands upon thousands in them. A lot of them are very wealthy people who just want to, they don't have the time to play games and they want to invest. And so it's like this interesting space of the other problem is that people, because it is addictive, it's kind of like gambling or like slot machines, because you put it in, you really want this character because it's going to make your gaming experience better. So, and that I guess that adrenaline, that dopamine hit you get when you spin the dice, you guys would know, opening a pack of cards, how good's that feeling before you open a pack of cards and you're sliding through and you're getting to the rare one and you want to see what you get. So it's essentially just that, but because it's all on your phone and all you have to do is click a button, and it's really easy to do credit card payments, like that's the addictive nature of it. And the other problem is, and this is why they're talking about regulating it and stuff like that, is people can't control themselves, and like this is a problem with any sort of addiction. And so people are going to spend more than they can afford to, whereas if you had more control over your own, I don't know, emotions or whatever, then it wouldn't be as bad, because more people could do it like I do, where you play a game for free that's continuously developed because people with the money are paying for the development. So it's a very interesting one. But the reason it catches on is it's a massive dopamine hit doing, getting a random chance at something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Pokemon cards. Imagine if you could open packs for free, and that's what you can do in these games. But then it's like, hey, if you spend a little bit more, you can open more packs, and that's where they get you, and then it snowballs. There's a lot of interesting things like seminars that have been recorded and put on YouTube where they're just straight telling people how to exploit people, the psychology behind it. So it's all that stuff. It's stuff that has been designed by psychologists to addict people to it. And and Illuvium will be the same type of thing. You're spending money but it'll be more gamified, and I feel like you'll get more value for your time in that you're having fun going out, exploring the world, getting into battles, trying to catch them. So it's just like a more enjoyable version of that.
Yep. That's so interesting. And Matt, I want to go back to Illuvitars real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen the discussion in the IIP chats about like how they'd like to see it, how they want to see it priced. Because right now it's I don't even know how to explain it. Because right now it's if you buy a higher tier, you still have a chance of getting a low tier. Like if you buy the diamond box, you still have a chance of getting a tier 1 or tier 2. I think it was something like that. Illuvitar. And then there's people that say, yo, we kind of just want one box where there's a set randomness to all the different tiers, but the higher tier boxes give you a higher chance at hollows or rares, similar to Pokemon cards. Or so the rarity is not based on the tier of the Illuvitar. It's more based on the hollow or the hollow background, things like that. How would you guys, and I'm keen to get Scoriox's your opinion on this too. What do you guys think about that? Like, how would you guys, like, what system would you guys like to see in place? I'm sorry if I butchered that question. There's a lot of random, like, specific details in that shit.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
No, I got you. For me personally, like, just like off a personal preference, I mean, in the end, like, I really don't care what they do. I prefer the traditional way of, say, Pokemon cards. Every pack has the same chance of getting the things.
Yeah.
Like, every pack has the same chance of having a Charizard. But the people who, instead of buying a more expensive pack to get that boosted rate, which is the system that, you're talking about, the alternative system, instead of buying a more expensive pack, just buy more packs. You know what I mean? So I prefer the same rate for everyone. And then you got someone who might buy one and get super, super lucky, and that's cool. But if you sort of negate those people who are buying, the cheap pack from getting that opportunity, it makes it less incentivized to buy them. So like I like that idea, but I don't know how much it's one of those things, like I said, I don't know, whatever it is, I'm cool with, but that's how at a surface level I would like it, just because that's what I've been used to in everything I've done with cards, games, and everything. Everyone has the same chance.
Yeah.
But you have more chance if you get more of them.
Yep. What do you reckon, Scoriox? How would you like to see this played out?
I think what they're trying to do is keep everything structured really similarly. They've been very clear about 5 tiers, 3 stages. That's their system. Okay. They do that in every single aspect. Land, the Illuvium game, so on and so forth. You get it. I agree with Volkin. I like the idea of a single loot box that anyone can buy and they get a chance at everything. I think that would be really interesting. On the other hand, one system I do really like is that their system for accessories is really interesting. They have the system where you can get a random accessory, which is just the next level on that gacha and that booster pack kind of system. But you can pay extra to pick one specific accessory for the loot box and that sort of thing. So I think the idea of those systems is really, really nice. If they do keep with the current system, I think the big thing they have to abolish is a diamond pack or whatever has a chance at something like a tier 1, like a 3% chance. That can't exist. That's not fair. That's not appropriate. I think I like the idea of randomness and gambling in the not financial advice, guys, but in the sense of this sort of stuff. I like the idea of as much randomness as possible. But if they want to structure it a bit, I don't mind too much.
And that's the other thing. While we're talking about all this stuff, like anyone watching, you've got to remember, like it's gambling. Like this stuff is gambling, but like it's also like the way I say it. So people always ask me like in mobile games, because I tell people how much people spend and they're like, why do people do that? And I'm like, it's also a hobby. So some people, instead of going out every Saturday night and spending $300 at the pub or the clubs, they spend their $300 in a game. So like, you've got to understand that it's more leisure money. Yes, there is the investment side now with Illuvium, you know, you can sell it. So there is that layer to it, but it's like, don't be crazy with it and destroy your life because you get addicted to the pulling side of it. Like it's something that you've like really got to, you've got to emphasize that. Cause like, you know, and I feel like in crypto it gets overemphasized because a lot of people end up over leveraging themselves, whether it's on tokens, investments, and, you know, it's just that like, that's my major problem with like the crypto side is like people in crypto, and you've learnt over the last couple months when we're in this massive bear, like, people have overinvested and they're bleeding right now. And then it just becomes toxic. And it's like, so the people are more inclined to overspend in the crypto space is the general feel that I get. So just wanted to put that disclaimer out there because it is essentially that's what we're looking at.
It is. And yeah, we're all adults, so we are free to make our own decisions, but we're
100%.
not trying to push that on you guys as well. Yeah. 100%. Actually, I want to take a bit of a hard turn, a hard segue.
Sick.
I really want to ask you, Volkin. This is a personal question. It's not even, we didn't prep this question. What is it about, like, because you said you had some experience with crypto. You made a bad decision, so you took some time away from crypto.
Yeah. So because that dropped, I didn't invest in Illuvium at $30.
Yeah. So what I want to ask is, because you were big on mobile gaming before that. So I was never a mobile gamer. I was a console gamer.
Yeah.
When you were a mobile gamer and then you found the whole world of NFTs and shit, what about it specifically? Because like none of the games at the time or even now really are up to the standard even of what you're getting in some mobile games. I'm going to assume, right?
Yeah.
So what made you kind of turn your attention? Like what specifically about the gaming in Web3 made you kind of say, yo, I want to pay attention here. I really want to like understand that.
Literally the money. That's it. Like anyone who's in crypto gaming who says they didn't get here at least partially because of the money is lying in my opinion. So
what do you mean? You mean the
not just the not investment, but the fact that you can sell your assets.
Yes.
Like, and so this is the thing with adoption. People always talk about, you know, self-custody and all that stuff. I don't think like self-custody and all that is what people who come in for the games will care about. They'll just care about the fact that they can sell their assets. So, you know, like people always talk about like, we use Illuvium, for instance. So Illuvium, you know, you own the alluvial that you have. Yes, but still, if the game shuts down, they discontinue service of the game, you're holding nothing essentially. It's still tied to the game. So I think that's like something else that's like, and yes, someone could create something that, you know, uses those assets and in the future, but like essentially you're still buying into just the game. So yes, you can hold your own assets, but you're still at the mercy of the game. Like I've played like 20 crypto games that are just gone to zero. I still have assets in them, but like, you know, there's no point. They're tied to the success of the game. So it's more like, I think the fact that, you know, mobile gamers spend thousands of dollars and they know they're getting nothing back. And the problem at the moment is you got too many crypto people that want to profit off of every game. And that's where it's at the moment. However, eventually, once you get gamers that are happy to get 30, 40% of their investment back when they leave the game, say they're done with this game and they want to move to the next game, they get 30, 40% back. They're stoked. You know what I mean? Because they're used to getting nothing.
So happy.
So that is what I saw. And that ability to recoup something is what I think will make it viable. However, at the moment, the space doesn't have enough people willing to lose money to play games because there is no good games. So that's the pickle the whole space is in at the moment.
Yeah. And I was just about to ask, sorry, Scott, I just really want to ask this question as well. Because you just said that it's like we're going to be in a good space once we kind of accept that taking a loss, playing a good game is what's going to happen, right? That's, I think I have the same kind of thought process there. How long do you reckon it will take? I know you can't give like an exact time, but how do you see the psychology of people? How do you see people transitioning to that point? Because it seems to be the end point, but some people are kind of fighting along the way to get there.
Well, okay, so I honestly think Illuvium will have that effect, but the problem is that crypto in general is so frowned upon in the general, like in the general masses, that you're going to struggle to get those players in to that game, even though that game exists. So you'll still have a lot of people in Illuvium that want to make money from it. So I don't know how long. But like obviously kind of with Illuvium, how like I've seen you, I think it was in Scoriox's or your interview with Andrew, how he spoke about, you know, we're just targeting crypto people for marketing at the moment because it's the mainstream isn't ready to adopt the crypto gaming. So in that sense, you're still going to wind up with that. So even though I think Illuvium, when it releases, will have the infrastructure to have something like that, it'll be interesting to see how many people will actually be happy to play at a loss. Now, the other side to that is SILV. I think, you know, SLV is like, I view it as just game money. Like I don't view it as some, you know, yes, you can sell it on a secondary market and get some profit, but like, I just want to have a shitload of SILV so I can play the game endlessly and just collect stuff and not care. So I think that side of it will actually enable it a little bit. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with having people that just want to profit from a game, like, you know, scholarships and stuff like that, as long as you've got the people to balance it out the other way. You've got to have people losing money for people to gain money. Otherwise, everything goes to zero. And then obviously you can't have infinitely mintable stuff, which Illuvium doesn't have because they have sets. So yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to watch when the game launches.
I think for me, when it comes to these sorts of sustainability in games, you can see the light hitting the back of my room now. It's really funny. In this sort of stuff, I'm gonna delve more into this later on, probably in my newsletter and stuff like that as well, because I have a lot to say on the subject. But the big thing for me is there's a few major archetypes. Lottery ticket is obviously a big one. Gacha is pretty much lottery ticket. And then the third one is actually PvP. Okay, this is the easiest way to have a net zero economy, just in general. Right? Like it's like a poker table. In a poker table, it's actually a net loss because the house takes some. That's what we need, because the house is the rev is. That is the system that we need to enforce as much as we can. And they've got a nice mixture of a lot of things. So I'm excited to see where it takes it. Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunities there, like that, the battle bash system. I forget what it was called. The one that that's the guild that's no longer around, ACG. But anyway, like Caveman and those guys, they put out a really dope.
Wait, did they fold?
There's things going there. Yeah.
Okay, you guys can tell me about it later. Life is a Ponzi. Walking Feather, I agree. Everything in life is a Ponzi to some extent.
Yeah. And by the way, in chat, I actually want to know, because obviously it seems like me, myself, and Volkin have that same mindset of, we just want to play a game. We're okay taking the loss. At least we get 30%, 20% is better than 0% that we get now. Like, that's where we're at. Scoriox, do you agree with us, or are you on that mindset as well?
20%, like getting it back out.
Yeah. Like 20, 30, 40,
I think
whatever.
It's arbitrary. I think it's really hard to throw out a number, because if you get in really early in the adoption curve and your thing goes up 5x and then comes back 80%, then you're actually getting out at the same price.
Yeah.
Right? It might be like an 80% loss, but it might not really be. Like, you're probably going to end up at a loss, but it could be a lot higher, is what I'm saying. It could be more 70% of your initial if you got in early in the early stages of the game. It would vary for so many people.
So for me, like, the thing with Illuvium is, if you want to and this is where I think it's like, and I could be wrong on this, I haven't done deep research on this, but I think it separates it well. If you want to invest and you want to make money out of the project, then you stake. You stake. So for me, it's like, I think the project will do well. I made the option to buy tokens and stake as the investment side, and that's going to fund me, hopefully, being able to play at getting no money back and just collect everything and hold it and never want to sell it, because my investment should fund that, essentially, if that makes sense. So that's sort of the way I look at Illuvium. It's like, I think it's easier for Illuvium to, for players to sink money into, because the option to invest is through the token.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. It's like the investment side is very, very, like, it's clear. This is the avenue to invest, and the game is the way to play. And I just wanted to ask chat, how many of you guys, because I know a lot of people in crypto, like we've been talking about, in it to kind of like, make a whole heap of money. How many people in chat are actually okay with playing Illuvium or playing any kind of game and losing money, but being able to take like a little bit out at the end of their gaming experience? Or all of you guys kind of like on the tip that, you're going to play and make a whole heap? I'm actually curious.
I'd say at this stage, because of the games that are out, most people would be for the money. Like in this space, like every time I jump into a new crypto game, I'm doing it to make money. Like that, like I have fun in the gambling side of new crypto games to try and get in early and try and make money. If I lose, it's like, I don't care. Like I know that's the risk. And like, I don't talk about this much because I don't want to encourage other people to do it in case they lose. But I've noticed, like, you know, if you just buy some stuff before a launch and then sell it on the launch day, because a lot of the crypto games have completely busted economies where they pre-sell NFTs and then they go skyrocket on the day of the launch because people want to get in and start earning because earnings are high. You just sell them on that day, and then within a week, everything's collapsing. It's like, and so that's why I think most people at the moment in crypto gaming, no one's playing games to have fun. But having said that, when it comes to Illuvium, I think most people watching this now as well, not speaking for them, but just my assumption would be that they're also invested. So if they are happy to play at a loss, they're recouping that loss. That you're almost paying for your rev disc sort of thing, if that makes sense.
I think I think it's interesting that there is another big difference here that we haven't really touched on yet, is that if we look at Web 2 gaming, you go into, in my current example or my past example, you go into like League of Legends and you drop $20 on a skin, right? Crypto game is very different. Even if it was a fun game, the current economy is spend $1,000 to purchase an NFT to play the game. That sort of overhead is only for people who are spending $1,000 to try and make $1,000 more dollars. No one spends $1,000 to play fun in like they can buy like a AAA game from like GameStop or ED Games or whatever for $70 and get like a proper 100-hour adventure where you're doing awesome stuff, right? So I think the cost here is going to be really interesting to see. And Kieran has said in the past that he's speaking with an economist about really cheap travel fees and stuff like that. I think a lot of microtransactions are going to be really interesting. We're going to do the giveaway soon, but actually, just on that note, it's just come to me. I think I do want to circle back really quickly to something that's interesting on the microtransaction side of thing, is that many NFT gaming projects have tried to mimic the gacha model, but their unsustainability means that they're clearly missing something important. Now, mobile gaming is, I think, one of the biggest revenue earners in microtransactions out of all gaming genres in existence. Volkin, can you talk to us a bit about why you think the revenue for that is so high and what current NFT games might be missing in comparison to that?
Yeah, so NFT games don't have scarcity. So mobile games inherently have scarcity because you can't get things from other players. The only way to get them is to keep spinning that wheel to try and get it in your game. NFT games have a market and a sale, and if they don't put sets on like Illuvium does, which I've played a couple of them that were mobile games. They turned it into NFT games, made the characters NFTs, pre-sold them, ran the game, and then as you play the game, you get the characters and weapons as NFTs and sell them on the market. So you just have a continual increasing supply, and once people are in the game and they got their team, there's less demand unless you're growing in users, and so they just collapse and go to zero because there's too much supply for the demand. So they have no scarcity. Whereas, like I said, the mobile games are inherently scarce because you can't get stuff off other players. So if there's that top tier PvP unit that you want in a mobile game, the only way to get it is to keep playing the game, collecting the free currency as you play over time and trying, or spending money and trying to get it. So it's just a matter of scarcity is the way I look at it.
That's really, really interesting. Yeah, I think the way you say that, I know Illuvium has a lot of artificial scarcity tools and things like that, but it's maybe making me think that maybe there needs to be an entirely different structure. And Illuvium's already trying a lot of new things, so I'm hoping that those new things work really well. But just in general, yeah, it's missing that key element that maybe there needs to be a new structure thought about. Because NFTs are inherently tradable. That's the problem in this case, which is, I don't know. I don't know how you
and that's
that.
why I said with Illuvium, you've got to design, and like there could be a magical design that I haven't thought of. But to me, the best model for a crypto game is trading card games. because they have economies and stuff like that. So it's the closest correlation. And the thing with gotcha games is when they try and make them into crypto games, because you have to pay for your assets, the whole thing with gotcha games that gets like a lot of players in is that the majority of players are actually free to play. So they play and don't spend anything. Now you're putting this massive premium to buy into a game so that you can potentially earn, but let's face it, all of them going to zero. And then you, on top of that, your gaming experience in a crypto game, even after you've spent $100, $200, $300, is a worse experience than playing the free version on mobile because they have to limit what you can get and what you can do depending on the assets that you have. So you've got to spend more money to get that same free to play experience.
Yeah. No, interesting. All right, so I think it is time for the giveaway. Volkin, I don't know if you've seen how we do these giveaways, but essentially we get the guest, which is you, to ask the chat a random question. It can be any question. It can be, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite holiday destination? What's the best, whatever, like stupidest, your worst investment. I don't care what the question is. Yeah. Just ask them a question and you have to pick one of your favorite answers. That's it. And they get $100.
Can I do a speed guess? So it'll be the first one with the right answer that I consider the right answer.
You can do that.
Yeah, just whatever.
Okay. Works for you.
There's no rules. Just
or you can ask them what time of day it is. I don't know. Like,
no. Okay.
Do some
Who is the greatest alluvial ever created?
The greatest alluvial. Oh my god, this is such a bait question. Such a bait question. I'm keen to see this. Actually, while talking about this, there we go. The answers are coming in. Someone's watching this on Twitch.
Okay, who was it? Nagasha got it.
Nagasha, yeah.
Stabbing, 100% best alluvial ever created. Nothing will ever top it. Nothing ever.
Slashing was close. All right.
Slashing was close, yeah.
Nagasha, shoot me and TSG a DM on Twitter. We'll get you sorted.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, hit me up. Easy. All right, man.
Ramflies and atlases, though.
Yeah, Adorius. Adorius, he doesn't even know who you are, man. He's like, no, Adorius is my favorite.
Adorius is quite nice. Like playing wise, I'm a big fan.
Yeah. All right. All right. So Nagasha, well done. Just DM me and I'll sort you out there. But all right. So Scoriox, do you want to? Let's go back to the actual Illuvitar conversation. I want to just have a bit of a chat. Let's share the screen. I've got. There we go. There we go. So this is set one. I actually just wanted to shoot the shit and just have a chat with you guys. Which ones do you guys like? Because I know Volkin, are you gonna go? You say you're super excited for this. Are you go harder for this than land? What do you reckon?
Yeah. I want to get all of them, and I want to get some high. I want to get some high rarity as well. Maybe try for a holo. Like the holo stabbing that Roger leaked looked savage. So I like that.
That's sick.
Also, you like honestly, the Scorpion's sick. Like the way it just looks like the Eye of Sauron. Looks savage. Those are my two favorites of that set.
Yeah, I called the because I did the tier list. Slasher was number one, like the best one that we've had leaked. And I also called the Scorpion the Sauron eye because he's got like three different eyes. The lynxes look savage too. I do like the lynxes. Look sick. Yeah, man. This is my one. I think this was like top 5 for me. But what do you guys like? So if you had to Scoriox, if you had to say like 3 that you really want, but I think that's the problem with these tier 5s, man. Like with the current system, it's like for people that don't have, like they can't afford like the diamond, but they just have no chance of getting the tier 5. Is kind of, it's a shame. So
I agree. I really like the Riptor. The Fury, I still really, really like. I probably won't go hard on batch 1 just in case Scoriox is in batch 2 or 3.
Yeah.
For those who aren't aware, batch 2 is complete. Batch 3 is probably nearing completion. It might be halfway. We don't actually know.
Yeah.
The only other one I can think of, the frog down the bottom there. I don't even know what that one's called.
Flish.
This one?
Flish.
Oh, Flish. Yeah.
That one's jumping out to me a lot. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. It's just cute.
yeah. I can slashing for sure. Atlas.
I do love slashing.
Archie. I think Archie looks dope.
I think the color really works here. I think slashing is really blue, And I'm sure there's going to be more iterations of him and versions of him.
Yeah.
But I'm liking anything particularly colorful. I don't know.
Yeah. Yo, chat, by the way, guys, let us know what you guys think. Your top 3 as well. So, Volkin, you're saying you want to go for all of them? You want to collect them all?
We'll see. We'll see what rates are and stuff, and like if they go multiples, like how much each of them costs. I'd love to collect them all. I think that would be a really sick set to have, especially if it's limited for a very short period of time. I think that would just be a really cool collector's item. To have the full set. Even if I have to snipe some off the secondary, I don't care.
Yeah, that makes sense. We can leave that up for a couple of seconds.
I'll work it. I'll do the maths on the averages and the costs and see with average rates what my chances are of getting them. And then you could if you get like a stage 3, like a rare one as a dupe, you could sell that and then buy one of the other ones. So I just sort of work out average cost to actually collect X amount of top tier, X amount of second tier, X amount of third tier. And then
don't worry, I'll be doing all that too. You guys know I will.
I'll just let you do it and copy and then figure out how much it's going to cost, whether I go all in on it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And actually, I want to, this map, I'm just going to say it because I can. What are the 3 that you don't like that you like the least? That's a funny ass question.
Nah, I like them all.
That's some cop out
the one on the one on the bottom right. I can't even remember his name.
Grocko looks cool, man.
Grocko looks gangster. Yeah, man.
What's the one? What's second from the left down the bottom? I can't even see what that is.
This one, Kuka.
Yeah. Oh, is that the cock? All right.
Yeah, that's Cucks.
The colors palette's weird. I couldn't see what it was.
The yellow looks wrong. I don't like it.
I reckon this one, Goliath, looks. I don't even know what the design for this is. I think that looks ridiculous. I just think that's ridiculous.
All the Lynxes do look pretty sweet, though. I think having them as a set would be pretty cute. I'd be a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think these ones. This one's just a cute one. It is what it is.
No, the one next to Stabbin's my favorite. Probably because it's a holo.
Oh, this one? Yeah. Yo, and Axon. What did they do to Axon, fam? He does not. Does he look like that? He looks like he's been squished or some shit. Is that just me?
Actually, that's a fair call. I don't know.
It does look a bit bizarre.
Yeah.
So MJ's quickly sent a chat. Will secondary be on Illuvidex and Token Trove? Basically, they all use the same IMX backend and stuff like that. So they should be on IMX Marketplace. They will definitely be on Illuvidex. And Token Trove actually just uses APIs and things from the Illuvidex Marketplace. So they should be available on all of the above. If they aren't, I'd be shocked. But the one guaranteed one is going to be Illuvidex, but that still uses your IMX wallet. So you're not really losing by setting up your IMX wallet after the fact. I don't know if we're using IMX wallet to purchase them.
Yeah, it hasn't been announced if we're going to be doing everything on layer 2.
If it is, keep in mind to transfer to the IMX. It's about 24 hours.
Is it?
Yeah,
depending on the time of the day.
I don't know about depositing in. I just remember when I tried to withdraw out of IMX, it took about 22 hours for me.
Damn.
So don't do it the hours before if you're trying to do it or something like that.
Yeah, everyone here will be making content on the correct process, making sure you're prepared and everything. So do not worry about that.
Yeah. I was talking to Frobe as well. I'm keen for the stuff that us content creators can do with content. Maybe buy a pack for each other, open it up on each other's like channels and shit. Kind of share some. It might be cool to.
Oh yeah, pack opening. Yeah, that's what I'll let Scoriox and you do the tutorial type stuff. I'm just gonna do some pack openings.
yeah. I mean, if I'm down to go through just for some fun, I'll do all the boring stuff on my channel and then I'll pop on yours for some fun.
I was actually talking with someone about a collective pack opening sesh. Everyone just jumps on the stream. We all open packs and stuff on someone live stream or something. I think it's
do it on the Illuvium channel.
I think it'll be better than everyone having 10 different streams across YouTube and Twitch and stuff, and then people having to choose who they want to watch, and we can all banter about pack openings. It'd be a lot of fun. We can do a short thing together, then everyone could split off and do their own thing and stuff like that as well. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, let us know if we did have separate separate streams. Who would you guys choose? No, I'm just joking.
That's online.
Check with Andrew if we can do it on the Illuvium channel. That'd be a good home for it all.
I think that is a possibility.
That's probably going to happen.
I think that's a possibility. Yeah. All right, man. Yo, Scar.
That's actually Annie said let's do a YouTube crawl. You could do that. We could all jump on someone's stream for a little bit. and chill there, let them do theirs, and then jump over the next one. It's an
That'd
idea.
be fun. It'd be tricky to organize, but I'd be happy to try and organize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely do. I'm not taking that on myself. That's ridiculous. You can do that. That's wild. Oh man. Wait, what did Dick say?
Be doable.
Oh, Rich. All right. Thinking about buying an ETH lizard?
Packs. That's an interesting topic. We should actually discuss that.
Are you asking, can you gift us packs? Absolutely.
I don't know.
Oh shit! This is another cool thing. Okay, the packs should be NFTs. That would be sick. Because like think about Pokemon cards at the moment. Yeah. Like if you got a base set first edition pack, that's like cool. You know what I mean? That's cooler than having a card like cards from the first set. Like having a sealed pack. That'd be cool if you could buy packs now and hold them, and then like in a year's time, you've got like the base set packs that you can go ahead and open.
Yeah. I think they are, right?
One pack does one Illuvitar. I feel like it's a little less strong there, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I think that concept is cool, but it's going to be so hard to not open it, right? You need to kind of just like put it aside and just completely forget about it.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. That's the best part.
Yeah.
That's hoarding the packs. That's why it's so valuable now, because as you just said, it's hard to just hold on to them. That's why there are so few of them in existence.
Especially as content creators, we'll be like, oh man, let's just open it. We'll be like, yo, opening video. But to hold it like, yo, there's can you imagine the video? It's like, oh, yo, guys, I'm just holding this. 5 minutes of just, should I open it? No, I'm just going to hold it.
But I like the idea of in 6 months, I give away an unopened pack to my
base set. Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah.
I think that's the idea as a giveaway. I think it'd be really fun. Even if it's worth a lot, I'd probably give it away anyways. Like it's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd give it away anyway for a price on the market.
Well, I'll talk to Kieran about that later. I think that's a fun conversation to bring up.
Easy.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to see.
Too bad Volkin isn't on the council anymore.
I'm curious to see if they restructure that, because the current structure for that just wasn't suited to me.
Yeah.
Like I spoke to both of you about that. I was just like, it's not set up for that yet.
How would you
too much?
Because there's actually thanks for the segue. There's the conversation happening again right now where Dick is kind of saying there are things in the works. They are looking to restructure somehow, with like maybe the possibility of smaller committees and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that? Is that how you would like to see it happen? Do you have any ideas on how it could be more efficient, how it could just be better? Because you were in the council, so you might have some insight.
Yeah, I think something like the committees around specific areas, maybe like, you've got a committee around, content, competitive players, guilds, casual players, like just like have maybe a representative from all those areas that like not even like have to be on the council, but just as like advisors or something like that. I don't know how I would do it. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading the comment that went on the screen, but I can't multitask. But yeah, no, like I feel like something like that, so that you can get input, and then you maybe still have the core council. I don't know, but yeah, it's just like, because like honestly, the council's job at the moment is more just back end, more money related numbers type stuff, and it's that's the main thing that's still going on. Yeah. But then, you still want those insights for the things that matter. So I feel like just having, but on the other side, I also feel like, just having communication to the council members, like I don't feel like I can't bring anything to the council members that are on the council at the moment as just something for, a discussion for them to have just as a consideration point. But I definitely think having like official channels for that would be cool. But
because I feel like
it's very new. Like what we're in is very like new and different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we're legitimately trying to build it up from the start, just like even with just trying to make it more organized, right? More organized and efficient, and then kind of figure it out. Because I think like you say, I would always want to have you on the council. Just like I think that your mindset and your perspective is super valuable, especially from the gaming side of things. And I think that's very, very valuable. And because you're not financially kind of like
the other thing is like everyone has their own incentives no matter which way you look at it. Like you say, I'm not financially motivated. However, I want the game as my number one priority, because also you could say I'm on YouTube. So if the game does better, I get more, like we get more views. So like everyone is incentivized in a different way. So that's not to disregard, like say, oh, I'm not incentivized. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone has something.
Yeah, of course. But I think just by you saying that, like your incentivization is, oh, you want the game to be good so you can make extra content, blah, blah, blah. Like for me, that's a good reason for me to want to have you there, because it doesn't seem like you're going to compromise anything. For like, it seems like the main thing is the game. And so I think having like but right now with the council members and what's going on, I feel like your expertise isn't really as valuable because there is no game, right? Nothing's really going on there. So I feel like, and the guys that we have on there, like Daraji, whatnot, that are really good at the numbers and analytics, like I feel like they kind of
So literally when I didn't run this time, I looked at it and I was like, someone like Daraji, like a numbers person, is way more valuable in the council, especially like, and you get into this weird area where it's a paid position as well. And it's like, I just felt like I wasn't earning my money, and then you just feel bad about that. And it's like, I don't want to even be there. But I feel like if you're spending money on something dollars to pay someone, you want to have someone like Daraji that you can get extra stuff. Like, so for instance, in the previous one, when we were looking at statistics, when there was that whole Bored Ape thing we were talking about, Daraji was doing all those numbers and doing all the analytics for us. And like, you know what I mean? And he's doing that for free. So why not, get someone like that in who can offer something like that. That's sort of the thought process I was going on. Cause I just figured, something like that is way more value than what I was bringing at the time based on what was happening in the council.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, let's not bring up the payment argument. I've seen a lot of discussion on that in the Discord.
That's always going to be a thing.
Yeah, I think the only thing with me for the council is that they have all their discussions behind closed doors. Now, I understand that for the most part. Obviously, things said in there can be taken out of context very quickly, and that is a problem. But I like the idea of us seeing what is happening as live as we possibly can. Like, I don't know. The council minutes that Dick has been doing are an excellent example of something I want to see even more of as we go further with upgrading and changing the council and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you've also got to be careful, because if you try and like live stream council meetings, then the meetings won't go well because they won't feel free to talk, because there's a lot where you just put hypotheticals forward and then people can take hypotheticals out of context. So I think the way Dick does it, putting like concise, notes is the way to go. Because otherwise, if you don't have a proper conversation where you go into hypotheticals and stuff like that, then you're not getting a well-educated decision. And if that's all live for everyone to see, shit gets taken out of context real quick.
Yeah. And
like I said, it's really interesting. It's a very interesting thing, because like I said, it's so weird having these discussions about a game. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah. You're running into politics for a game, and I'm like, dude, I just want to play a game.
Yeah. Nah, I get you. Yeah. But no, so I want to, about playing the game. So are you still on PV1 as much? I know that the time constraint and having to redo the early waves. Are you still kind of holding up for PV2 to play a bit more?
Yeah, I'm waiting for PV2. So we actually chatted about this, me, Scoriox, and Vetamore back when we were on the just in Discord in the chat. But it's like at the moment, it's like when it first came out, it was like sick because it was all new, and it was like, you're learning, and it's like you guys probably got the same when you first played, and anyone in chat that's got access, you play it and you're like, okay, this is good. But for replayability, like the fact that you got to spend like 20 minutes grinding back up to where you were is a big time constraint. Honestly, the biggest thing that slowed me down was the moment I found out that casual was on the leaderboards, because there was that little bit of competitiveness in me. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend 3 hours doing one run to try and get on the leaderboard now. And like, take script, like I'm not going to go through that effort. So I really want some, like if there's a form of PvP, that'd be sick. Or what Vetamore was talking about is happening in the next one about having, different waves each time, different enemies, same deck.
Yeah.
Like that's more like when it's different, it's more fun to me than when it's the same thing over and over and you're just repeating that.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Like I have full faith in the game. I think it's sick, but the time invested is just a little bit too much. If it was on mobile, however, and like I know there's people dispute about mobile and stuff like that. This is just me personally because of my situation. So I actually work, like where I am now is at my parents' house. This is where I work. Yeah. And I do a lot of my playing games because I play mobile games at home on my phone while I'm just chilling because I don't have another PC hooked up at home. So while I'm here, this is my work time, not my play game time. So it's like then I'd be eating into my work time to, spend, if I do 3 runs, 60 minutes clearing trash waves.
Yeah. So it's a lot.
Yeah, I think PB2 is going to be huge for it with the checkpoints. Like then can do like, 1 run a day where, you can use your checkpoints and you go, okay, that was my best for the day. That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Because right now, like, man, there've been days
at the moment you do 1 run, you choke on like stage 11. You're like, fuck, I got to do that again. It's that's the pain.
I'm legitimately skipped on videos doing that shit. I'm like, oh man, I'll do a video after 1 run, and then I die on wave 11. I'm like, fuck, I have to do it again. I play it again, and I'm like, oh man, look at the time. I can't do a video now. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I like the broader deck. I think that's going to be big for me. It seems like they're going to add a lot of the T0s in and things like that. I'm excited to be able to play with them. But no, I need a human opponent. To be incentivized a lot of the time. It doesn't even have to be on the other side of the board. Even if it's a human opponent doing the same waves as me. But even as, what would be really just great is an inbuilt tournament structure like the tournaments we did in the past, where you go into a matchmaking thing and 8 people are matched up and now you're all doing the same
tournaments.
That
first tournament was sick. Yeah, that stuff's fun.
I think build that into the UI. It would be hard because you're going to do all the back-end PvP matchmaking, all that sort of stuff. You have to build all that, which is a shame that would just make it that much more difficult. Otherwise, I think it would be easy to add it in. So hopefully PB2 has something, but we'll see.
The other thing is we got to remember, like over anything, I'd take them just working on the game and getting the game out as opposed to spending time working on private betas to make it funner for us.
Yeah.
like just give me the full game, you know what I mean? But yeah, I agree. And like when I look at survival mode, like it's something that when the game launches, I will probably spend the minimum amount of time in.
Of course.
It'll be all like open world and then PvP. So, there are some people that will love the like a lot of people don't like PvP and they just prefer, doing something like survival. So there'll be a lot of people that do that, but that's not me. I'm like Scoriox. I like losing to 14-year-old kids on the other side of the world. The rage is there's nothing better than it.
Yeah. With that, man, I think a good way to kind of close this out as well is like you say, you kind of just want the full game. We know that we're definitely not getting open beta in Q2. That's definitely not a thing that's going to happen. What are we hoping for? And then we can kind of end out like I won't say what are we expecting, but what are we hoping for? I'll start. I'm saying end of Q4, Q1 2023 is kind of what I'm hoping for. Any more than that, I think they're going to have some problems probably with being first to market, but that's where my mind's at. Where are you guys at?
Yeah, you go, Scoriox.
All right. Just quickly, I think if we take other bear markets into consideration, we're potentially looking at the bear market / recession in overall markets and things ending early next year. If we're just looking in history, I think it could probably go longer, but that's the example bottom. I think if that does hold true, I just want it to be out before the bottom is in. That's really all I care about. But if I were to be hoping, before Christmas, I don't want it to be next year. I feel like you're announcing like launch dates for like March of 2022, and then it launches in 2023. That feels bad to me. I just like the idea of it staying in the same year, even if it's delayed. But yeah.
Initial launch was 2021.
Initial launch was 2021. Yeah. December, right? December 2021.
For me, I've sort of got in my head, I have no expectation. When it is when it is.
What do you hope?
Oh, obviously, I hope this year.
Yeah.
But on that, it's like I'm hoping that they do the full game, like have the full game ready. Even if they don't release every zone at launch, which they won't because you'll have to go through the obelisks and stuff like that, that whole process.
Yeah.
Just have everything ready so that there's no stale period where they're trying to develop something and that turns people away from the game.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have a point where you've got a limited amount. So you're like, okay, let's launch the full game, but we don't have everything prepped. Then you hit this roadblock where you can't actually catch certain alluvials, or, like that would be the worst possible scenario of people getting kneecapped by progression of the development and then leaving the game. That's what that, like, hopefully before Christmas, but only if it's the full game and everything's ready.
Yeah. Yo, actually, there's one last thing, because I just remember this with you saying that with the full game and everything like that, because it's a conversation I was having with Dick a couple days ago, some shit like that. And we were saying like what ideas would we have to release the game? How do we kind of put it out there? And I kind of came up with the idea that, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. I think putting the like we were saying, the full game without the crypto aspect, without the NFTs, just have the open world where you can go out and capture things, and then like have them the same way you would have in Pokemon, and then battle with them. So that way it kind of not onboards like non-crypto native people, but it shows them that Illuvium is actually a good game even without the ownership, without the NFTs. That might be a way to kind of put it out there, because right now they're putting like PB1, PB2, and eventually we'll get the entire thing and have people experience the game for the game without the ownership. And then once they're ready to bring in the ownership side, kind of just flick the switch and then that turns on.
No, I'm not for that at all. Like, you will destroy your game because people will go, wait, I was having so much fun in this game and now you're putting a paywall on it. That will just, like, in my opinion, just from what I see with people complaining about pay to win and stuff in mobile games, if people are having so much fun free in a game and you go, by the way, boys,
like a demo, like,
get your wallet out. If you release it maybe with tier zeros, but then people will jump in and go, oh, this is the only 5 characters I can get. It's a bit watered down. Yeah.
Interesting.
So the thing is, when the full game releases, there will be that free to play aspect with the tier zeros, so people can taste it. But I think releasing like every alluvial and the full open world in a free version will put a bad taste. Like, imagine if you get a bunch of Web 2 game, like, people that aren't in crypto into it, and they go, oh, by the way, guys, you can't play anymore unless you put money in, and you got to start from the start again. Like that, I just feel like that could be a really bad experience.
Yeah, I didn't consider that at all.
Thanks for the donation, Richard. Yeah, no, that wouldn't work. I'm with Volkin on this one. That is a good way to just take a shotgun shell, put it up against the head of Illuvium, and I kind of see what you're coming from.
I get the point,
but it's never ever going to work. You see, like, look at like Battlefront 2, right? Like, Battlefront 1 didn't have pay-to-win aspects in it. It had a lot of loot boxes and stuff. They were pretty fun. You played it. Huge game, lots of players and stuff. Battlefront 2 came out with loot boxes, and it instantly died. I still can't find a freaking game on Australian servers.
Really?
And I absolutely love that game.
You mean Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be playing that. That still pops up here.
I can't find shit in Australia, which is really, really sad. I absolutely love the game.
So you got to play with 400 ping in the US.
All they did was just kill it with pay to win. That was it. Like, yeah.
It actually brings up an interesting thing for me as well, because I just saw so most in chat want Overworld. Just saw Walking Feather say that, and this is the other interesting thing is with the Overworld. It would be amazing if they didn't need to beta test that, so that no one ever goes through it. And when the game launches, that is the first time anyone sees it. I think that would be insane, but you do have to test it. So I don't know how they're going to do that. But honestly, if you could get the game launched without doing an open world beta so that everyone sees it for the first time when the game launches, that would be amazing. But I don't think they could get the testing they needed to get done. So I don't know what they're going to do with open beta.
Yeah.
No, not open beta, with open world in the private beta. Like I'd suggest no content from it, because you don't want to ruin that experience. But then the problem is, because there's money involved, then you get to, but the people testing it have an advantage because they know where the nodes are, they know, and you've learnt a bunch. So I don't know
It's tricky.
how they're going
It's
to do. Like, I that's a decision I couldn't make by myself. Like, that's a big discussion to have because, like,
That's where you need Daraji with the.
ideally for me, like, I'd rather
analytics.
not get in the beta and just play the game fresh when it launches and have that full experience. Because I feel like the open world is the experience of the game.
Yeah, you're a better man than me because I definitely want to get that overworld.
Yeah, I think if we look at the Pokemon scene again, all the content creators usually get their hands on the game a week before it releases, and they've got a lot of strikes and stuff out on YouTube and stuff. Like, you're not allowed to really put out content until the game comes out, even though they've got their hands on the game early.
They have a date. The way the system works is
I'm not talking about content. I'm talking about now it's monetary, where and you can get on the leaderboards for having the first catch of something. You know where the nodes are to go and get encounters, what the highest concentration points in the zone are. Like, it's the competitive side that gets impacted on that.
Yeah,
but like the other thing that we should consider is in that aspect that Pokemon does it. It is interesting because the content creators actually get to play the game for a week and create all their tutorials. And now, as soon as the game comes out, people have tutorials to watch on how to do this and that. I do like the idea of everyone kind of learning at the same time. That is fun. But a lot of people do kind of want to know and get a head start straight off. And having the ability for people to get those tutorials early or like as they come into the game is an interesting one as well. There's so many variables.
It's a bit different because the tutorials are only really needed for the combat side of it. You don't need this tutorial to open a pack of cards, and that's essentially what the overworld is. Like, it's fairly simple. You got your energy, you've got however many cured shards. That's how much you can catch. If you don't have that, you go mining or you pick plants. Like, I don't think there's many tutorials. The only tutorials people will want from the overworld will be monetary ones on like what's the best place to go to optimize my profits and stuff. And you won't know that by playing the game early because you don't know the market.
You
That's how I think about it.
Where the rare alluvials are. What my imagining is, all the parkour kind of zones to get to will have a spot where you can capture an alluvial, and those alluvials will typically be a little bit rarer and stuff like that. So you will kind of getting to know the map, I think, will play a role in the overworld, which I'm excited for. I think the map needs as much strategy to it as possible to make the experience a bit better.
Yeah, I'm actually having a chat with Grant next week to go through overworld stuff. So hopefully we get a bit more info on that as well.
Yeah.
He sort of hit me up. He's like, I just want to like go through and clarify some stuff. So I was like, that'd be sick to get some more info on that development. So because I remember early on he was speaking about having like certain levels of things where if you don't have enough fuel in your jetpack, like you can upgrade your jetpack along the way. And if your jetpack isn't upgraded enough, you won't actually get the boost to get to this platform. And, then, you've got that. But I think it's really hard on how much they're trying to develop to actually get that precise on everything. So it'll be interesting to see how detailed those sort of fine details are.
Yeah. Now I'm keen for that conversation then because Grant kind of does his work and doesn't really come out too often. So when he does, he always comes out with a lot of good info.
Yeah. I agree with Walking Feathers there. The people won't be tuning in on how to make money in Illuvium. That'd be bad. We need to want how to play. Yes, how to play. But I also think you don't need a how to play overworld at the start because that, like you said, how to get rare spawns and stuff. Yeah, that's. I don't think that's something you need a guide on. That's sort of an exploratory thing. So it's like, it's an interesting one. And also the other thing to remember is when the game launches, like they're only going to be marketing at crypto people. So you're not going to have a huge amount of the Web 2 in there yet. So I just think it's going to be interesting. But I don't know what I'd do. What would you guys do? Like, would you just say go open slather, let everyone see? Like, I know Scoriox, you like the idea of, prepare videos for the launch. What do you reckon, TSG, for the open world?
It's tough because there's value in what both of you guys are saying. Like, there's validity in what both of you guys are saying. Obviously, like you say, because there's a monetary gain to be had, you kind of want to make it as balanced as possible. But because there are going to be beta testers, they're already inherently going to be, they're going to have a slight advantage because they kind of know the map, they know how to traverse, they know, they're just going to be that little bit better. So it's like, that is it's like, even though we want to keep it fair, like it's never going to be.
Nah.
Like, there's no impossible for that to happen. So if we accept that, do we accept that, let's just show everyone? Or is it going to ruin the experience for them then? Right? It's like, do we give them the advantage as well and equal out the playing field, but it takes away the experience of the first time. And it's like,
I just really hope that,
I don't know, man.
When they do beta, like no one can figure out how to activate the obelisks and stuff like that. They that at a minimum that has to be out of the game for the beta.
That makes no sense for them to put that in there.
Yeah, that's something like I'm really hyped about is like, who's the first person to actually open our access into the next area? Like that is cool. Yeah. Like, and like, can you imagine like if you're playing the game and then like a notice comes up on the screen of like this user has activated the obelisk, and it's like, dude, I mean, like that stuff's really cool.
It reminds me of Ready Player One. Like when they get they've got the massive leaderboard at the top, and when they get the key, it's like pass
kicks it in reverse.
Yeah. Like it's like bing, bing, bing. Like something like that.
Who nailed marketing in open world? Elden Ring. I don't know if either of you guys have played it, but for Elden Ring, for about a month before the game came out, they had a bunch of beta testers just kind of like on YouTube. It was very controlled. They were like, you can play this. You can play this for an hour, and that's your video. That's pretty much that sort of thing. They did a lot of explanation how to do things and so on and so forth. The big thing here was that the beta testers only had access to the very first area of the game. They could not go beyond that and see everything else. And I would say the first area was barely 10% of the game. Okay, there's a lot involved. Obviously, it's quite a large game. I like the idea of a small, have fun play area where people can go through and show their audience how to play and all the stuff like that.
I completely agree with that, yeah.
Survival mode is actually kind of like that already because it's got, 30% of the deck, probably less. And your opponent has 30% of the deck, and it doesn't even have like proper augments and all that sort of stuff in it. So like,
I like that. I just didn't know if they'd need beta testers to actually find all the bugs in the open world. You know what I mean? You don't want to release a product and then have a bunch of bugs in it. So like that was my thought. I thought they would need a bunch of testers to actually iron out everything and make sure there's no issues. I don't know. I'm not a developer. I don't know the development process, how deep they go.
Quite frankly, there's two completely different sides here. You have one is the bugs, and the second one is just gameplay experience. Is it a good game? Okay. You only need beta testers for the latter. They have a studio of over 250 people, which are obviously already playing the game because they're in the studio. I think they can find all the bugs you need them to find. There's a lot of people there. They can play it. They can get into that. You only really need beta testers for the other side of it, which is this a good game? What do we need to fix to make it better?
Yep. In that case, then I agree with you. The like little opening area thing would be perfect.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to see the bloody capture animation with Atlas.
Yeah.
And, that is something I am just dying to see, because early on I was like, are we going to have like the Pokemon, like the 3 shakes of the Pokeball type thing? I'm hoping they have something similar to that sort of thing for the nostalgia of it.
Can you imagine if they just have the shard just shake? That would be ridiculous. But have you guys seen the capture thing that they kind of just leaked? Where they're holding Malura and Axodon. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, the restraint. The
restraint. So that's meant to be what it's gonna look like once you defeat them and you're deciding who you want to catch. They're gonna kind of be that looks sick, man.
I'm gonna make a video for tonight, but there's been a lot of discussion in the Discord with I can't remember who it is. Anyways, but there was one of them was hinting at like there might be some sort of mini game involved with capturing. I think that's powerful. If they don't have that already, they're probably going to do it in the future anyways. I think something like that would be really cool. I think Pokemon Go gamified capturing really, as much as I can't stand it because I'm very traditional, battle the Pokemon.
I can't help it.
I'm very traditional like that. They did they nailed it. They knew what they were doing when they built that mini game for capturing Pokemon in Pokemon Go. And I hope Illuvium has watched that.
I think
you go TC.
I was just say I just want to jump in real quick because I think with Pokemon Go, like I don't know, I didn't really play it because I was in China. I couldn't play it in China.
I still play with my son.
yeah. Like back when they first started, there wasn't really battles and stuff, right? It was just collecting, right? Mm-hmm. So I think they had to gamify the catching thing. Whereas with Pokemon, there's a whole game. You don't need to add another gamification for catching. So with Illuvium, I kind of hope they don't gamify it just because there's already enough game. If I want to catch it, I just want to catch it. I don't want to do another mini game. It's just like, yo, I want my brain to switch up for a couple of seconds at least. I don't want to be. But I don't know if you guys agree.
You guys should get Zionic on for a chat because he's Pokemon Go. That's where he started. But
yeah.
Like the thing with it is, it's like it would have to be in a specific way. So like the gamification of the gacha, which is the open world, is already very intense. Where it's like you know you've got to you've already got to shoot the singularity. You got to get into it in time. Then you got to choose whether you're going to go into it, whether you scan it, whether you don't.
Yeah.
Then if you go into it, say it's a holo, then when you go to capture it, you've got a percentage chance that you like if it's a tier 5 holo, like if it's a tier 1 holo, you can use a tier 5 shard and guarantee that catch. If it's tier 5, there's a chance you lose that holo. But if then on top of that, there's a gamification that could be another point of loss, it might get too much. However, if like your base chance and then like the gamification can increase the base chance, maybe it's an option. But like I think the gamified gacha in the game of catching Illuviums is enough for me.
Is enough, yeah.
The other thing is we haven't tested it, so in theory it feels like enough, but there could be something.
Yeah. This is all just personal kind of preference and thoughts, right? We don't really know, but yeah. All right. It's been an hour and 20, man. Volkin, we've gone well over the hour mark. I don't know. Do you want to wrap it up, Scoriox, or do you want to keep?
Yeah.
Volkin, do you have more shit you want to talk about?
I'm good. Me mum got home, so she's got the kids downstairs. I can hear them, so we're sweet.
We went off track like 30 minutes ago, but it's been really good chat. I hope the audience has really enjoyed it. We've kept most of our audience, so they must be finding some good, useful information here.
Yeah.
But we should start wrapping it up. There's a video I want to make today, and I'm running out of time very quickly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have fun clipping this, man. There's gonna be a lot of clips out of this. Jesus.
You don't have to clip every single moment. Okay.
Nah. Just the best ones, which is everything.
Thanks Volkin for joining us. Thanks TNG for jumping on. This has been an awesome chat. Again, we're sponsored by Illuvium. Huge thanks to them for sponsoring the channel. Illuvitars trailer, we've been talking about it a lot. Go check it out. Open world trailer thingy leak. Go check that out as well. We've chatted about that quite a bit. The game is going to be amazing. I'm very excited for it. So big thanks to you guys. Volkin, is there anything you want to say? Don't forget to plug your other channels and stuff too.
No, screw that. Just subscribe to these guys. They're awesome. That's about it. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks, man.
Have a good one, guys.